friends, students, faculty of School of Architecture, IPS Academy, Dr. Manita Saxena ji, Architect Shan Chaudhary, office bearers of NASA, National Association of Students of Architecture. Especially I like to thank Ewantika, Kashish, and Harsh. Ewantika and Kashish has been in touch with me since the time we have thought about instituting this gold medal. And I was just telling my friend Rupa, who came from Devas just to meet me after 10 years. And Kashish, I must tell you what I was telling my friend. This is one girl who really knows how to speak so well with full of good manners. I really appreciate that. Every time you call, and I liked the way you talk. And when a student is able to talk like the way she talks, I feel nice about my country, that the fate of my country, the future of this country is in the right hands. Likewise, all of you students, I have immense expectations that you're going to be the torch bearers. You're going to lead my country, India, into making it a very beautiful, successful, developing country, because there is no other profession like architecture which designs the future. A great round of applause to all of you. Good. I am told that all of you students come from various regions and states and cities in India. About what, 200 students? All of you have come from various parts. I think that's commendable. It really truly represents a camaraderie of like-minded people and thinkers. And I'm very happy to see all of these young, bright, smiling faces sitting right in front of me. It makes me feel happy to give my talk as I launch Christopher Benninger Gold Medal for the first time over here. So, friends, as I said, I am very happy to launch the very first gold medal in the name of Professor Christopher Benninger. This is an award in excellence in architecture to a student in the entire country. I'm also told that NASA, National Association of Students of Architecture, I keep reminding myself I should not stop at NASA because everybody will think NASA in Florida. So this is the National Association of Students of Architecture, which was formed in 1957. That's what, 67, 68 years back. And you have about 320 colleges, correct? And what did you say, 68,000 students? 66,000 students. Wow, what a mammoth, I would say, student body. Would this be considered as the world's largest organization of students of architecture anywhere in the world? I think that deserves a huge round of applause. Keep clapping. I'm going to take a photograph. It looks very nice. It looks very nice to see all of you. Okay, once again. Good. See, I become like a child like you, huh? Well, that's no easy feat. I think it's a fantastic organization, and then at a student level, when you're young, you're able to develop skills of organization which you would be requiring in your future profession as well as life. So, amongst you is the place where I find it befitting that I must release the very first gold medal on the name of Christopher Benninger. And I cannot find any better location. Lovely auditorium, IPS Academy, School of Architecture, a great venue for the very first gold medal in the name of Christopher Benninger, who's been a very inspiring force. His writings, his books, his teachings and philosophy, and of course his projects have been inspiring generations of students, generations of young architects and practicing architects, and still they continue to do that. In that honor, we want to host this very first gold medal. I'm told that more than 200 students applied for this gold medal when it was released 3 months back. And the officials or the office bearers of NASA shortlisted about 45 applicants. Am I correct in my numbers? You can correct. I don't want to be wrong when you say, am I correct? 45 candidates? Shortlisted, yes. 45 were shortlisted, and those 45 were sent to CCBA Designs, that is my architectural firm back in Pune. And then we shortlisted, we gave the 45 candidates list to the first round jury members, which included the senior most architect in my firm. His name is Architect Darayas Choksi. He also happens to be the studio director, and he has been working with Christopher and I since 1998. So most of you are not even born then, I guess. So he has been working with Christopher since 1998, almost 27 years, putting up some of the most important buildings in this country. So he comes from a vast body of work, knowledge, and the know-how of what kind of student Christopher would have liked giving this particular award. Okay? Then, after the Darayas Choksi, we had architect Professor Rajiv Mishra. He is the principal of School of Architecture, Jayadar School of Architecture, College of Architecture in Mumbai. And he happens to be also the director of art for the government of Maharashtra. So he's also a very important person when it comes to architectural education. Then I had Professor Shikha Patidar. She is sitting here. She's from Bhopal. She is into academics, and recently she has finished translating the Letters to Young Architect book, which was written by Christopher way back in 2011 into Hindi for the first time. Can you please stand up? Yeah. Shikha ji, I'm very thankful to you for having come all the way from Bhopal to here to be with us. And she also judged the entries. Then I had a good friend of mine, architect Kochutaman Matthews, who is from Kochi in Kerala. He has been practicing for 30 years, and he is an ardent follower of Christopher's life, philosophy, and projects. And I felt I needed to have him as a practicing architect to be part of the jury. And finally, I had architect Reena Salvi. She is also one of the first stage jury members. She did her architecture in India. Finally, she went to Graduate School of Design, Harvard University, to do landscape architecture. And she was also into academics. She was teaching at Alana College of Architecture for almost 10 years. So we had these 5 jury members to evaluate the 45 entries, and they finally shortlisted the 10 finalists. Now the 10 finalists were then put in front of 3 jury members, which is the final jury. And those jury members were Professor Barjor Mehta. Now, architect Barjor Mehta's first job was with Christopher Benninger way back in 1980, when he was sent as a planner to Sri Lanka to work on some of the projects that Christopher got. Professor Mehta then later on became the director of School of Planning in CEPT University. After that, for almost 20 years, he went to Washington, D.C., and he was a World Bank consultant consulting and working on projects in China as well as in Africa. Eventually, he retired from the World Bank and settled in Ahmedabad. Currently, he serves as the president of CEPT University. So he was one of the final jury members. Then the second jury members were architect Ponni Consenswa, and she's an acclaimed architect once again of the Secretariat of the Telangana government. Finally, we narrowed down from 10 to 3, and those 3 I had the opportunity to interview them on the video call, and I spent about good 30-35 minutes to look at who these candidates were. And with my interview, I think, were you there? You were there. Couple of NASA office bearers were there, and my studio member, Samiha Sheth. She did her master's in America, and then Shivaji, who's been with my office for the last 25 years. Now, what was I looking for in the candidate? I was looking for someone who had a fire in their belly, somebody who was adventurous, somebody who had empathy, somebody who was very well read and very well traveled, and somebody who knew the purpose of their education, especially when they are educated as an architect. And I'm not looking for somebody who thinks that like architecture is all about designing pretty little bungalows. But I was looking at somebody who would use the education of architecture as a social tool to uplift the bottom 10% of the population of our society. Can this candidate reshape and reimagine our cities and communities? Can this person be interested in public policy? See, as architects, it's our responsibility. And in one of the interviews, I did mention this, that if medicine is a noble profession, architecture is a social profession. It is our responsibility to create communities and cities that we envision to live in our future. And all these characteristics were there in young Christopher Benninger, who walked out of Harvard University as an assistant professor, came to India in 1971 to begin the School of Planning at CEPT University. I was looking for those characteristics. Today, I must say, very proudly, that I found that person. And that person is sitting in front of me. Okay? Out of hundreds of applications, through a very strenuous process of judging and with jury members of certain acclaim, we have identified one single candidate in this country of 1.4 billion people, and her name is Kiruthika. Am I saying correctly? Come. So this young lady, Kiruthika, I will say it Kiruthika, it's easier for me. Huh? She graduated just a few months back from School of Planning and Architecture, New Delhi, SPA Delhi. She comes from Chennai, but her roots are from Kanchipuram. You must have heard of Kanchi silk saris, right? That is where she comes from. She comes from culture, she comes from like tradition, and she comes from a family of professionals. We are very happy to have you over here, Kiruthika. Kiruthika, we are very proud that you are here, and you are the very first Christopher Benninger Gold Medal given to a student from a member college of NASA, National Association of Students of Architecture. Kiruthika, I want you to very carefully listen to this, what I say, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Inspiration is always a surprise visit. Inspiration can never be programmed. Let it remind you your purpose of life. Kiruthika, you are very young, you're very charming, talented, and of course you're beautiful. But let me remind you, you'll also have a great profession and a very long life. I would want you to live 100 years, a beautiful life. And in Spanish they say, la dulce vita, which means the good life, the great life. I would want you to have the good life. I'm sure you will have it. But remember, in such a long life, in such a great life, you will have pitfalls, you will fall down. There will be low moments too. And that is the moment I want you to hold this gold medal with you near your heart. And remember, how did you get this one? And this gold medal is going to uplift you. I want this gold medal to be your companion. I want this gold medal to be your inspiration for the rest of your life. Whenever you are low, I want you to remember you made it to the top position in this country, and this gold medal is a testament to that excellence. Okay? I am sure Professor Christopher Benninger is somewhere up there listening to me and smiling at me, and he is also blessing you and wishing you the very best in your career in future. Okay? Kiruthika, I want you to remember that this gold medal should be your friend, your soul friend. I was just reading a book called Anamkara by Jonathan Donahue. This book is set up in Ireland and in the Celtic philosophy. The people of Ireland are called Celtics, right? And in the Celtic philosophy, there's a word called Anamkara. And the literal translation of that means, Anam means soul, Kara means friend, soul friend. Somebody who's always with you, somebody who always keeps correcting you, somebody who's always like uplifting you. So this medal is going to be your Anamkara. Okay? I want you to serve the nation and inspire many young architects and many young people that you will come across in your life. I end my talk before I present this medal to you, Kiruthika. What Professor Christopher Benninger would say, that our talents are loaned to us to be used for the greater good of the larger society. Let me remind once again, our talents are loaned to us to be used for the greater society, for its goodness. Okay? I, along with my entire team at CCBA, who are not present here, and I'm told that this is a live event, I'm sure some of them must be seeing it. We would like to immensely thank NASA, IPS Academy, and all our well-wishers for having given us this opportunity to instill in you this inspiration through this gold medal.